welcome back to another 1/6 scale figure review. Today we have the Sideshow Collectibles Pennywise from the 1990 miniseries. Pennywise portrayed by one of my favourite actors, Tim Curry. And just a really quick disclaimer, this is my second official Sideshow figure. As you can see up there in the corner, just blurring there, I do have their Pretty Lady version of Leatherface. And that figure really left me with a good impression. So I was pretty excited to see Sideshow's more revamped era of figures. You know, they got Yixi to sculpt a lot of these brand new stuff in the horror line. So Pennywise, Beetlejuice, David from Lost Boys. And I think one is escaping my memory. Pennywise and Beetlejuice so far look really, really good. David was a bit of a disappointment, so I did skip out on him. But after seeing the many reviews of this guy, I had to pick it up. I'm a massive Stephen King fan, and I do overall think this miniseries is slightly better than the 2017 movie and its sequel. But saying that, I still love the Andy Muschietti version of it. You know, I think Bill Skarsgård does an amazing job as a character. He's a great character actor, and I do really love those two films, but I do think overall this one just feels a bit more like it's a Stephen King book, if that makes sense. And also, speaking about the book, the whole end scene of Pennywise kind of forming into a giant spider is kind of not even in the remake. I think Skarsgård's Pennywise just becomes like a big baby face type thing, while Tim Curry has the accurate, you know, big spider insect-esque look. So yeah, just talking about the figure itself now really quickly. You've got two head sculpts to choose from, which is an awesome addition. It's really, really nice to see that Sideshow are doing dual head sculpts in the packaging. You know, Hot Toys are kind of straying away from that, and other official companies are trying to move away from double head sculpts. But you get this really, really awesome one down here. There are some negatives and nitpicks with this particular head sculpt. It's more to do with the rooted hair or doll hair appliance. It's not technically rooted, but I don't know if it's this specific head sculpt that has that issue, or if it's just adjacent to mine. But the way the hair is applied on that one is nowhere near as good as this one here. So what I think I'll start off is with the two head sculpts and take a closer look at them. Then I might talk about the proportions, the body, because Sideshow have really, really done an impressive job when it comes to this particular body. And yeah, they've really upped their game, and I think it's a good thing that other companies have kind of pushed, you know, big name companies like Sideshow and Hot Toys to kind of, you know, step it up in some aspects. And I think they have proved themselves pretty good with this guy here. So yeah, I'll pop off both head sculpts, bring him up close, and we'll get into it. So we've got the first head sculpt, which is the head sculpt that is applied on straight out the box, which is the more, I mean, I wouldn't call this neutral, but it is compared to the other one. It's a sinister grin. Tim Curry pulled off this look pretty much throughout the series, and this is amazing, you know. Looks exactly like Tim Curry in the makeup. The hair is actually really, really good. It's not rooted in the sense of actual rooted. It's like the bold cap doll style thing. But as you can see here, there's no like product falling out. It is applied very, very nicely. It's got like a texture to like a feather duster microfiber style feeling, which fits well with this character. And you got the really, really good paint apps and gloss on the teeth. The eyes look really, really sick. It would have actually been nice, considering that this is a bold cap, to have this like magnetically removable to move rolly eyes, because it looks like you could mechanically do that. Sideshow could have done that. But yeah, I think aside from that, it looks really, really awesome. I've seen a lot of custom sculpts out there. I don't personally think that now they're the best ones. I do think that this overthrows those custom sculpts. Aside from the acid burn one, I've seen a really awesome custom of the side of the face acid burned and dripping and melting. And I really would have thought Sideshow would have popped that in. Maybe also as an exclusive to have 3 head sculpt swap outs, but they've only given us 2. But again, I'm thankful that we're getting a swap out one. So speaking of the swap out option, this is it right here. And yeah, this is really, really sinister. The hair, I feel the hair might be a bit differently applied onto this one versus this one. Maybe it's the styling. It kind of looks the same. It is a bit bouncier here on the edges. I will point out, I'm not a fan of the way that these were packaged. This one was a bit more generous when it came to packaging. It had the plastic slip that kind of held the hair together, while this guy was kind of packaged like this. It was in the box like this, so that's probably what's happened and why the hair is all over the place. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of the way Sideshow did that. Luckily for Pennywise, it's clown hair, so you can get away with having this wild, untamed look. But for something like Beetlejuice, I know he's kind of a wild character too, but he's supposed to look human in a sense with his hair. So I would be interested to see how he was packaged. But that aside, the detail is really, really good. The teeth work looks amazing. On par with the InArt Pennywise. Yeah, I would say so. It looks pretty good. I would have loved it again if this version, or if we had another head sculpt with the acid burn. But this is also an iconic look. So the issue that I have seen with this particular head sculpt, I don't know if it's mine only, but it looks like they have cut too much on the back, and there's almost not enough to play around with. See there? It's almost like there's not enough to kind of futz away and kind of hide that. So there's always this weird cut line, while you get this guy here There just seems to be a bit more going on with this one. There, I think that's a good side by side right there to get my point across. And yeah, I don't know if it's just specifically with this head sculpt or if I'm the unlucky one that, you know, one of the guys at the warehouse trimmed too much, but I'll see if I can fix it. Maybe I'll water and hairspray to kind of lock it in position. Can hide that out. But regardless of all that, the paint, the texturing, the really nice sculpt, the crow's feet and the wrinkling, kind of seeing the original eyebrows and the fake paint one, looks really, really good. Just a quick pose change here with the other accessories shown. So you got the monster claws, pretty much the VHS cover art of him like creeping over, kind of breaking the fourth wall, and you got Georgie's paper boat here. And yeah, just looking at the whole suit and tailoring here, I really think Sideshow have done a good job here. And I think Sideshow's best strengths when it comes to 1/6 that I've experienced is their tailoring and their appearance of it. And it is no exception with this guy here. It has that nice stocky build that the suit looked in the series. It's kind of got like a weighted look, but it is not weighted. It is a pretty thin material, so it's not going to be an issue posing. It is padded, so take that in mind. The whole body is pretty much padded, which I've come to kind of enjoy padding and fat suits in figures because it gives that extra heft, I feel. And I have seen D Knight's video on this, and I can also confirm that it looks like they've stitched the pom-pom buttons on the actual suit in a way where you really can't unzip this to take it off and do a body swap without cutting the thread in the zipper, that's a bit disappointing. I feel it should have been stitched on one side or the other, not both, to the point where you can't unzip this without popping one of these out. But yeah, talking about the suit, it's interesting that even though this is 1990, the series, this looks much more modern compared to the Skarsgård suit, which is a positive to Skarsgård because it's based on, you know, the more ancient look, Victorian era, while Tim Curry's version is more modern in appearance. And also it seems like in the Skarsgård universe, or the Andy Muschietti universe, we are getting some continuation in a form. We are getting a series, Welcome to Derry, which I think is based on when the It creature arrived to Earth, which kind of, I don't know, I'm pretty skeptical with that, because I feel they're just going to do a retro version of what the 2017 film was. And I hope they deviate from that and not have just a brand new set of kids experiencing Pennywise. I think it will be interesting to see adults having to deal with this creature in an actual Victorian era. Because originally in the novel, it is kind of hinted that this creature was attacking humans first, adult humans, and kind of gave up because, you know, their imagination wasn't that expansive to kind of play around with his prey. So he targeted kids because their fear and imagination is more vast. But yeah, when I heard people talk about reportings about the series saying like this is going to be like Pennywise's first time being on Earth and the series is going to be based on that, that kind of doesn't make sense, because, you know, Pennywise has been on, well, It, the creature, has been here before humans, and he was kind of incubating until humans came because of their imagination and their thought process. He started hunting because of that. Which, again, if you go back to like Lovecraft and Eldritch horrors, it's very much that. And that's pretty much what I've loved about this character. And I hope for the series it dives more into that, because I feel both versions, this one here and the Machete version, don't really explore that much when it comes to the actual creature itself and what it is capable of doing. And yeah, looking at the figure itself with the different head sculpt popped on, it does make me now contemplate which one I want to use, and I just want to spin it around to see my hair here. And yeah, you can kind of see there's a weird deviation with this guy, and it stands out a bit more because it's popped on and placed on as is, compared to just kind of free flowing like before. I do believe they have cut way too much on this sculpt compared to the other one. But I think I could probably just do my own stuff and fix it. Maybe just hairspray and water mix and kind of flatten it like that. And hopefully that kind of blends it in a bit better. I might have to go back and see reviews to see if anyone else has experienced that with this head sculpt. But yeah, that looks really, really good. I'm now going to struggle to choose which display option I want. And just quickly, I might as well just show the display base in its lackluster entirety. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It is a bit lackluster. It's nice that we get one because, you know, 3.0 and some other companies don't even bother putting one in. So it's nice that it is in. I would have loved like the green forest / lake that the sewer kind of leads to, and have Pennywise display on like a translucent looking puddle. And they easily could have printed something on top of this diamond. It's nice that we get the It movie title there, and we get a bunch of licensing stuff. Sideshow sometimes don't know what to do with this. Either they print it at the front or the back. It's kind of weird. But looking at this just makes me want to go back and get the Hot Toys display base you know, on eBay or something like that and use it for this guy, because I do have the InArt one there, and I think it would look really awesome to have the sewer base from Hot Toys with the Tim Curry version. And I thought I'd end with one of my favourite looks of Tim Curry as Pennywise, with the shitload of balloons in his hands, kind of waving as the bus passes by. For like a split second he looks like this, and just as the frame kind of switches, he gives like a really, really sinister frown and points. And I've always had that scene stuck on my head since I've watched it as a kid. You know, speaking on this film, I'm obviously a 2000s baby, so I watched this obviously way past 1990. Wasn't born at that time. But when I did watch this in the mid-2000s, I thought that we would never get a remake of this. You know, the closest thing I thought we were going to get was like that Ross Noble Stitches clown film, which, in all honesty, that movie is pretty dumb fun, but back then I thought that was the closest we were going to get to a modern Pennywise. But then we got Andy Muschietti's version with Skarsgård, and again, that was a really, really satisfying film, but I just always have had a connection more to this version. I think the whole aesthetic and feel of the town feels legitimately from the Stephen King novel. Just the way the adults acted in that film, kind of their negligence towards just everything going on, feels much more creepy compared to the 2017 version and its sequel. But yeah, now I'm stuck with this guy having a lot of different ways to pose him, 2 head sculpts, so I'm kind of stuck on how I want to keep him in my module case. But I think my first step is to go back and grab that Hot Toys diorama base, because I do think it would fit. I mean, yeah, it's just a sewer base. It's not like people are going to scrutinize and say that's not the same drain that Tim Curry was in. And obviously, I mentioned before, I have watched Dean Knight's video, and he popped the angry open mouth expression in the sewer base. I think he put both of them in, and they fit pretty well by the looks of it. So I might copycat that and display him with that base. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub, and I'll see you in the next one.